All right. Good morning. My headphones set up. I still haven't figured out the balance levels because these are sound canceling headphones I'm using, and so I can barely hear what I'm saying. I hope I'm not shouting at you. That would be incredibly rude, and you had every right to shake your fist at me, right? So, excuse me. What I'm doing here is I'm doing a little Monday YouTube thing. I have been working on my newsletter, and let me pull that up here a little bit. So I want to talk about it and talk about some things in general. It'll be fun. Please hang with me for another couple of seconds. Why are all these things open on my computer? Shut them off. Stop. Okay, one more try. There it is. Now, so as a short disclaimer, I write this newsletter, and I have recently started having my newsletters edited by somebody far more qualified than myself, so I don't sound like a raving lunatic in them. But I do have, okay, where is this? I'm going to put this in its own window so I can look at it or know that I'm still here. And like I said, if you have some questions, you can either message me. A lot of stuff going on today in the household. Last night, hold on, I don't want to embarrass anybody. I'm live on YouTube. Say hi. Okay, all right. Last night I was given a detailed itinerary on a Post-it note of what I was doing today. This was not on it, but we did have several things I'm expected to do with my youngest, including play Titanfall. So we did. I've never played Titanfall. I write mech stories. I love mech stories. Years and years ago, I used to play. I can't remember the name of the mech game that was big at the time. But so we're playing Titanfall, and I'm going through the tutorial gauntlet, and I've realized I am definitely the lowest skilled player in this family. My 8-year-old makes it look pretty easy. My 22-year-old makes it look effortless, and I am totally loving it. It's just a great thing. I wish I had more time to play video games because I do love them. Just like I like watching TV series and reading a lot of books I don't get to. Writing takes a lot of time. And I enjoy all those genres and the story and the fun that's going with them. So news number one, it's not in the newsletter. I didn't put that in there. I'm just kind of freewheeling it here is that, yeah, I'm learning to play Titanfall and I kind of suck, but we'll get to that here in a bit. So my newsletter is off to got a lot of chores being done by the kids today. So they're running in and out, storing things, and they're shy. They don't want to be on the newsletters or on the YouTube channel, even though they want me to start a Switch or Stitcher or whatever gaming channel and be a professional game player. That's what they think I should do, even though I have no skills in gaming right now. I've been drinking coffee all morning. I've been mixing coffee half and half decaf, and so my voice is a little scratchy. All right. The newsletter I'm sending out to my subscribers is the Monday Moon is what I'm calling it. And what it's basically going to be is I'll talk a little about what I'm doing. I meant to write a really comprehensive deal over the weekend, but it was just crazy at work. I was too tired when I got home. I jotted down a few ideas and forgot most of what I was going to say. But I do want to mention a couple of things. I'll headline them here, and then I'll get to them later, hopefully, if I remember, is Shorty number 4 that Devin C. Ford and I worked on. It will be alive on June 5th. It's up for pre-order now on Amazon. Shorty, the first book in that series, which is one of my favorites and a reader favorite, will be free on June 7th. Get people to check that out. They're all 99 cents anyway. And if you're in KU, you can read them for free. So if you go to Shorty, A Mech Warrior's Tale, or Shorty, Scott Moon, when you search on Amazon, you'll be able to find it. And I'll try to put some links someplace where they're accessible. So those are good. Darklanding is the Darklanding omnibus, the episodes 1 through 3. If anybody remembers, Darklanding is free until I think the 8th. Craig's taking care of that. Put that out there. It's got a new book cover. It's really cool. I've had a lot of people ask if we're doing a second season. We'd like to. We just have to make sure we can get enough actual interest into it. So the thing about Darklanding is I have a lot of really enthusiastic fans for the series that are always asking when it comes next. And like when I go to 20 books in Vegas, that's the first thing most people ask me when I meet them in person is, when's Darklanding season 2 coming? And we got some cool ideas for the season. But like I said, I have so many projects. I have to write the one that is going to get the most interest. So if you like that, check out the Darklanding. The omnibus is free for a few days. And you can get into those books very much. Let me know what you think. I'm also going to talk about Christian Kallias's new series he's launching. Let's skip down here. Let me get some details on that. Nemesis. It's the Universe in Flames Dark Legacy Book 1. It's on sale for 99 cents until June 10th. And maybe I'll read the book blurbs. That should be some fun practice. I'm going to do that. And then also Nathan Hystad, his book, The Rift is a awesome military sci-fi space opera book that is out now, and he's launching, or it's 99 cents right now. I don't know how long he's going to keep it there. But the cool thing is the audiobook is out, and you can get the Whisper Sync audio for $1.99. Now, audiobooks normally cost like somewhere between $15 and $25 or credit if you're a subscriber to Audible. But getting the Whisper Sync is a great way to get some really cheap audiobooks. And then they sync. You read on the ebook, you listen to it, flip back and forth, and it keeps track of where you're at. It's really cool. I love Whisper Sync. Oh, I feel like I had so many more brilliant things to say. Oh, yes. If you're a subscriber to the newsletter or you support me on my Patreon page, the audio files for the third Shorty book or story, Ground Pounder, are done, and I'm going to put those up to be listened to. It's not a super technologically advanced listening system. I didn't make them into ACX audiobooks just because they're short, and maybe I'll do that once they're all done. There's a bunch of contractual exclusivity things, but the main thing is I want people to like Shorty. I want people to hear it because I really believe in the project. So if you want to check those out, you can listen to them if it's more convenient for you, and then you can look at the ebooks. There's no Whisper Sync available for that, sadly, because it's kind of low tech. But I did have them professionally narrated. They're really fun. Check them out. So what am I doing? With newsletters and these types of channels, I always struggle on how much of my personal life people are interested in or how much I can share technically, because I have some interesting stories to tell from work, but some of them are probably not really, that maybe the department wouldn't smile upon me giving my humorous take on them or tragic take on them or whatever the call was. Because my job as a police officer is about half fun and exciting stories to tell and half things that we complain about. And then since we're really good at math, half, tragedies that you just can't believe how these things happen or why people do the things they do. But that's kind of a downer. We're not going there today. Anyway, so I'll be a real general. So yesterday we did lots of police work. It's extremely busy. And I am a supervisor, so a lot of my stuff I do is tedious. I'm like in charge of inventory, which is a never-ending disaster. But I got to help go out and get down on the streets with some troops and do some actual police work like back in the day. But basically, we had an officer that got put out in trouble. We had somebody that was coming up on this problem. He had a knife, but managed to make a good decision and not stop. But it was kind of sketchy. It was pretty spooky there for a little bit. But later, we had to recontact this individual who was, I believe, to be a felon. And he obviously had a big knife on his hip, and you can't have a knife like that after you're a felon. So I guess the story basically goes that, hold on.
You're going live in 10 hours.
I'm going live right now.
These fans, like you said, you're going live in 10 hours.
Oh, well, it says that I'm live right now, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, thanks for that. I may not be live right now, according to my 8-year-old, but who knows? Anyway, who knows? What did I do? Did I write a terrible, weird description? Anyway, That's fun. So anyway, but basically the point is that we had someone we needed to arrest. You know, a lot of times by the time I get to the supervisor, all that stuff's been done. But what was fun is I took off walking towards the guy. I told my officers to get in their cars. They jumped in. The guy started to go away because knew we were coming to get him and probably knew that he was going to get arrested. And and as I caught up to him, he was further ahead of me than I thought. But I saw the officers confront him, and I saw him turn to run, and he looked towards me, and he saw me coming from the other direction and decided not to run. And we gave him commands. Everything went well. There was no fighting. Nobody was hurt in this story. Um, you know, and it goes on from there. Now that individual obviously will have his day in court, but I believe we did a good thing by taking somebody off the street who um, didn't need to be coming after an officer with a knife. You know, and had things been a little bit different, that might have been an entirely different story I wouldn't be talking about, because it was definitely just a few seconds away from, you know, even though I had to go arrest the guy for other charges, if he had made one slightly different decision, it would have been a knife fight there on the street. So I'm glad that didn't happen. Um, anyway, I don't know, a dumb story. Didn't really come across that well in this format. But the point to my story is that I felt like I was actually doing some basic police work, and rather than just administrative dumbness. So moving right along from that story, what else is cool? What else are we doing? It's summertime. I think I already talked about my itinerary, my 8-year-old. We got lots of things to do. We're playing Titanfall. We're doing some searching for Nerf weapons, Nerf knives, I believe, specifically today. And then we're going to go to Target. I can't remember. There's a couple other things we're supposed to do. We're supposed to read. Oh, and we're going to ride bikes. That'll be fun. All right. So updates from the newsletter. I went over a little bit of stuff with Shorty. Shorty is just a freaking fantastic series. I like it because, one, I like Mech Warriors. I love the world it's set in. Doomsday, this planet that people have been fighting on over the ability to make new mechs for like 500 years. And it's just a giant post-apocalyptic science fiction mech warrior backdrop for all kinds of cool characters and action. So that's Shorty. My collaboration update. I'm about 26,000 or more words into Wings of the Reaper. If things go well, comma, which they're really not. I said comma because I do a lot of voice dictation. That's crazy. If everything goes well, comma, I will then. That's funny. Kind of a geeky writer joke there. Anyway, things go well, I should easily be able to be done in 10 to 14 days. Then some editorial processes, things happen. If things go kind of like they have been the last couple of weeks, it'll take significantly longer because I have not had as much time to write as I would like to have, or the energy. I've been, all joking aside, by the time I get home from work lately, I am so exhausted in an emotional wreck that all I want to do is go to bed generally. So it's hard to get motivated to write in those conditions, but I'm doing what I can. I have, so far this year, I've had one day where I produced no words. And that was, I think, the day before yesterday. And other days when I normally write, somebody was talking to me or asking me about this recently, is I try to write 3,000 to 5,000 a day. I rarely get less than 1,000. Sometimes I have like an 800 word day. And then some days I get really big word counts, like 6,000 or 7,000. But so 2 days ago, I had a 0 day. I felt terrible, but now I'm back to at least getting a few words every day, getting these projects done. We talked about the Darklanding update. I really would love to have people check that out. If you've already read it, or you just, space Western stuff is not your thing, maybe share it with somebody you think might like it. So Darklanding is Firefly meets Tombstone meets Bonanza in some cases, if you want to go way back, and great characters. And there's some alien contact in there. It's of course a spectacular new alien landscape, new place to go and adventure. And there's some dark. Each episode is a standalone, but they have an overarching series plot, which I really like, and it should be really cool. As far as book promotions, this week, Christian Kallias is launching his Nemesis Universe in Flames Dark Legacy, Book 1. I'm going to read the blurb. So, from the book blurb, we thought defeating the Furies would bring peace to the galaxy. We were wrong. A year has passed since defeating the Furies. Members of the Alliance are settling into their new roles, but unexpected forces are about to shatter their sense of peace. Former Admiral Chase Anthantos and the Earth Alliance have won the Fury War, but in doing so, Chase paid a terrible price. His wife, Sarah, was mortally wounded, so he heads out to the unknown region of space to find a cure. In the alternate dimension, Ares survived the destruction of Erebos. In his current quest to gather intel about the Spectres and their plans, he's forced to consider an unlikely alliance with a Fury survivor. That is, if he ever hopes to return home. Tara Locke now serves aboard a mercenary ship under the leadership of Captain Talon Epizon, a man with demons and who despises the Earth Alliance. When they come in contact with an enemy spider ship, all hell breaks loose, and the ragtag crew of the Bellerophon, no, I'm pronouncing these words wrong, must defy the odds if they wish to survive. It appears the peace that came with defeating the Furies was short-lived. Now the universe is about to plunge into darkness once more. Are Chase and his friends ready for the Spectres? How can they defeat an enemy immensely more powerful than the mighty Furies? It's a pretty good question, actually. So one final note. If you're new to Christian's Universe in Flames series, he put the entire series, because this is obviously a spinoff or a continuation. The entire original series, Universe in Flames, is on sale. I think all the books are 99 cents. Not sure how long that goes for, but that's 75% off of the normal price of that book, and that's like $30 because it's a fairly long series. So check that out if you're into that. It's got some really cool book covers. You can look them up. And if you're trying to do Google searches because my links don't work or something, it's Christian, last name Kallias, or Kallias, Kallais. So that's cool. The other promo I want to mention in my newsletter, I'm going to talk about here on this particular YouTube channel. Nathan Hystad has another great book, Rift, that's on sale for 99 cents. It's a military space opera adventure type thing. Really awesome. It has an audiobook. You can get the audiobook. But the cheapest way you can get it is doing the Whisper Sync for $1.99, which basically means you buy the ebook for 99 cents. And it'll ask you, hey, do you want to upgrade and get the audiobook that will be synchronized with the ebook for $1.99? So for what's that? Less than $3, get an ebook and an audiobook. So here is Nathan Hystad's blurb for Rift. They watched us for centuries through the Rift. They've prepared. Invasion is inevitable. The Earth fleet has known the Watchers for years, unwilling to share the knowledge with humanity. Now it might be too late. Hidden away from the fleet, one man is creating a new colony ship destined for the other side of the rift, but he's missing a few pieces. 3 other people have varied paths to get there. Ace goes from the streets of Earth to the fleet training facility of the moon, on the moon. Flint, an ex-pilot, must decide if a job is worth his life, and Ren, imprisoned for a secret project years ago, is given hope as an unlikely ally whispers words of escape in her ear. Their journeys lead to Councilman Jaden Fairbanks, who knows of the impelling invasion and has prepared. All they can do is wait for the rift to open once again and see what's on the other side. Rift joins an ensemble cast facing immeasurable obstacles. If you enjoy space battles, prison breaks, androids, and aliens buried under a shroud of mystery, this book is for you. Try it today. A fresh, new science fiction adventure from the author of the best-selling Survivor series. So that's pretty cool. If you haven't read the Survivor series, it's worth checking out. It's extremely popular. Good stuff. And reading that blurb makes me want to get deeply invested in that series. Okay, so since this video is a supplement to my newsletter, so 2 things. I may make it private just for newsletter. I may leave it up. Depends on how it looks when I listen back to it and how stupid my personal life stories are. And so I'm just looking at what I jotted down for my notes here. Yeah, basically all I'm talking about in there is I plan on doing 2 newsletters a week. for everybody. And the first one I'll probably call it the Monday Moon or whatever. You know me, I'll change it like 50 times, I'm sure. And then I'm going to keep doing my Friday 5, which I sent out last week. People like the first Friday 5 I did like 3 months ago. And it was more kind of it didn't have much stuff about book deals in it. And so sometimes the Friday 5 will be like, you know, what I'm reading, what I'm doing, a tip that I have to share, stuff like that. And I'll try to do that mostly, but a lot of times I will be also talking to them. I'll also drop in there, hey, if you want to check out these deals and whatnot. I'm getting called from work, so I'm gonna have to go. I just can't wait. I love getting called on my day off. Anyway, so I hope everybody enjoyed my rambling. Hope you have a great week and you're safe and everything that you endeavor to accomplish comes to you 10 times what you expected in the positive margin. So take care, be safe, and I will see you later. Are you sure you want to end your stream? Yeah.